I did not have an epiphany where I thought, oh, I'm going to be in the movies. I just never thought it was possible, but I always loved movies so much, and I would just watch the same VCRs that we had like on repeat and would reenact them. And I think if I say that now, it's like, well, it seems pretty obvious that you wanted to be an actor and work in movies, but I just didn't know it was a possibility at the time. So always loved movies, and yeah, then the hustle began to actually get my foot in the door in Hollywood. Probably getting Wolf of Wall Street was like the most seismic shift in my career. That moment, I'll never forget it. I was in the room with Martin Scorsese, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ellen Lewis, the casting director, and they called me back into the room, and Marty just opened his arms like this and went, "We'd like to offer you the role." And then my whole life changed. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, and he hugged me, and I was like, oh my God. To be quite honest, spending all that time with him really helped me just, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear in this, but just not give a shit. And honestly, that's one of the biggest lessons I learned. For some reason, I care so much what people think, but it just doesn't matter. And that really truly is what I took away from it. We kind of really focused on what we wanted to do and how could we be the change we wanted to see in this industry. I, for one, and everyone at the company wants to see the statistics even out with how many female filmmakers get the same opportunities. And it's not that I don't love working with male filmmakers, I really do. I just think we need to provide more opportunities for the female filmmakers right now. They've had less of a shot in the past. Anya was a very small budget, so this was, yeah, it's great because you have to get more creative and inventive and think outside the box and solve problems without throwing money at it, which if you're doing a studio film, they're hard to do for other reasons as well. Making movies is difficult, but very, very fun. That's why I hate it when anyone's ever like, oh, that movie, I didn't like it. And I'm like, it's a miracle it got made. Like, it doesn't matter if you don't like it, but it was a miracle that any film gets made. I mean, it was clear to me, both reading the script and talking to Quentin, that she represented the good parts and the innocence of their time, and like what the best of what 1969 had to offer you kind of experienced through Sharon.
I really care about her. I feel like there are certain characters in cinema history that stand the test of time and get to be reimagined by different people, and that I feel like is a legacy I'd really like to be a part of.
But no, it's better late than never, and definitely I think there's more eyes on this sort of conversation. It's so much more topical now, and I think that's a good thing. I think when people kind of talk about it, it holds other people accountable. If they're not really making efforts to have equal representation in front and behind the camera, then things are never going to change. Gave us so much freedom in this movie. There was a lot of improvising, but there was also a beautiful script written.